so excited to go over and welcome the wonderful Donny and Andrea today. How's everybody doing today?
Good morning. We're doing great. Sun is shining.
Sun is shining. It's toasty outside.
I know that is not true because I live in the same state that you all live in, and we have been hammered with the snow, as they say. Yes.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And I want to make sure everyone notices because it's really it's very subtle that there's a snail in the middle of the. It's actually a really good-looking snail.
They put some work into it, clearly.
So is that a print? Tell us about that. Is that a print?
So this is a print. It's from, I believe it's from Artisan Guild. It's just a monster that came with a group of warriors of some kind. And our buddy Cole from GCM Services, as he does, prints props for us every now and then, pretty much every day. He just blew this one up for Gooey Cube so that we would have something to have like a pincushion or a voodoo doll.
Yes, I would be pleased to shove pins into that thing if you want me to do so. Well, it's great to see you. It's great to see you both. It is marvelous to have you. I guess we're going to talk a little bit about the marvelous Genghis Khan today. That is the plan. Yes.
What's Genghis Khan?
Yeah.
Just this thing that's going on.
Andrea, dear, you need to talk because Donny has obviously had too much to drink.
He's actually not even caffeinated.
I know. I didn't get a cup of coffee.
I will be talking more when this is gone.
I need one. Anyway, all right, Lawrence. So what are we going to do? What do you want to do today? Because we had to do this from the StreamYard because Donny and Andrea are up in Denver and we're down in Colorado Springs. And of course, there's like 8 inches of snow on the ground and icy roads and all kinds of stuff. So that's why we're doing it this way this morning. Plus, we don't have camera Mandy, as you all have noticed. She is in Disneyland again. How does
busily pulling the sword, mind you.
Oh, so you got to go through and you got to ruin it. All right. So for everybody here, I was instructed that we have to play this for everybody.
Oh, so cool.
So this is Adam, Mandy's manservant.
He didn't even look like he pulled.
I know, he didn't even put in any effort to it.
Oh my God.
All right, Mandy, next do Thor's hammer.
Oh my gosh.
I was going to go after you.
So Mandy actually got the pull. She got the random pull.
Yeah, so apparently it only happens once or twice a day, and she actually got the sword out of the stone there, so that's pretty exciting.
That's awesome.
So I'm pretty sure by international law and the Geneva Conventions, Carrie now has to do whatever Mandy says, as she is now the Queen of England. So it's either that or she's fully in charge of Gooey Cube now. I'm not exactly sure what the rules are.
Did you see her face? I got to do a meme of that thing. She was like,
oh yeah, for sure.
All right, let's do some social media and Andrea and Donny, don't be afraid to bust in here as we talk about these various things, So
absolutely.
All right, now I was specifically harassed about this because some people had forgotten it the week prior. All right, so let's go and play Never Have I Ever. You get a point for everything that you have done.
So let's take our time with this one a little bit, Lawrence, because I got. So what do you mean people were frustrated with you? Because it was fantastic. Everybody had a good time with it. What was the issue?
No, I'm saying that I was harassed by you for not going through and commenting and coordinating stuff in the Facebook comments for making sure that we did this weekend.
Well, it was minor criticism. It was only not major. And it was well deserved. It was completely well deserved. Anyway, all right. So, Andrea, have you ever done number one?
Secret fun fact, I've only GM'd twice.
Got it.
I have GM'd twice, and it was for children.
So you probably didn't kill a
Did you ever kill another party member?
Not as a GM.
What about as a party member?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, it was contentious. It was a 5-year real-time campaign, and it had been building and building over 5 years, and I finally had to kill my best friend's character.
Nice.
All right. Donny, have you ever used kobolds?
I have inserted them into an adventure. I have never used a kobold.
Nor abused. I must tell you, I've seen kobolds abused numerous times in my games. All right, Lawrence, I want to know this. Have you ever used Counterspell?
Oh my gosh. I'm the DM. I will counterspell a Revivify. I will 100%, whatever they're like, oh, don't worry, we have a Revivify scroll. I'm like, yeah, the mage counterspells it. You just wasted that. I am an evil DM when it comes to counterspell. I'll also counterspell a counterspell. I am all about that life.
Okay. All right. So how about this one? You already answered this one, Andrea, so I got to ask this one. How about, have you ever DM'd for children?
I have. I GM'd for a GT classroom of students that were not mine, and
awesome.
Yeah, no, it was awesome. It was absolutely awesome.
Well, this is the interesting thing. They're finding all these studies now about social anxiety disorders and autism and all of these things. How these games can actually help bridge gaps and get kids over bridges to better places with their social interactions. It's amazing.
For sure.
Yeah, it's amazing. All right, so all right, Donny, number 16. Have you had a big bad killed in first round of combat?
Oh, of course, I've run a few convention games. And people that are recurring attendees to like my games. I've been going to conventions since probably 2000, and I've had several people just keep coming back.
Yeah,
they want to play the next one, and it's like they want to kill the big bad in the first round of combat.
They keep giving it their shot.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, Lawrence, you get the last one. Have you ever had a true total TPK?
I've never had a true total TPK. I'm very good about that.
I've only had it once, but there was extenuating circumstances and things happened afterwards that were pretty cool. So it actually worked out pretty good. When you get to go see the gods and they decide they don't want to keep you and they send you back, there's all kinds of fun stuff you could do if that kind of thing happens. But
oh yeah,
it was not a happy moment around the table.
All right, so everybody, this is up on our Facebook page. Make sure you go through, put what your level is. I'm a level 19. I know Alphinius Goo is like a 21.
Hey, and you know what? This is important, Lawrence. Before you continue, you should probably show the bingo card so everyone gets them since we're starting this, because that was very cool.
I already put it in the chat.
I saw you put it in the chat, but can you show it real quick, or is that a pain in the butt?
I don't even know if I go. Well, no, I don't think I can.
Okay,
no, I can. I can. Hold on. Stand by.
Are we giving something away with this? Somebody who gets bingo or blackout or something?
No, only just because of the issue of after somebody gets bingo, you have to verify it and make sure it's good. And I didn't figure a good smooth way to do that through the chat on the stream and whatnot. But we did go through it. We made a virtual bingo card that you guys are welcome to play while we go through and play. There's 30 different cards, so your card is probably going to have some different stuff on it than what other people might have. And if you get bingo, make sure that you yell it in the chat that you are, the king of Good Morning Zyathé bingo.
So it's in the chat so they can get it, and you can't show it, so that's okay.
Yep. So that's also in the Facebook group. You can check it out. All right. Continuing on with our social media vamp here. We have amazing creative table running Shades of Lost over here at the Midwinter Gaming Convention. We need to figure out some kind of way to have a map and then have just when Gooey games get run all over the country and stuff, because they don't just get run at the conventions that we run.
Yeah, Ben is a magnificent game master and was running this, and that was wonderful to hear that. We actually were on Ben's podcast recently, so in fact we need to get Donny and Andrea on that here one of these days.
Oh, absolutely. That actually does remind me. Let's see here. Mandy sent me a text that said, Saturday on Goo Morning Zyathé, I need you to make an announcement. Roll Hit Die is doing a Gloomport giveaway. Every week we are going to give the passcode, and if they want to be entered to win, they must take the passcode to Roll Hit Die Gooey Cube stream that happens Saturdays at 7 p.m. Eastern. This week's code, which I'm supposed to give to them, right, Alphinius?
Yes, you got to give it.
All right, it is Castaway. Again, the passcode is Castaway.
So just remember Tom Hanks, and you'll never forget.
Wilson!
There we go. I'm going to go ahead and put that up there. So Castaway is the code to go over and take over to Roll Hit Die. Ben Cohn, if you are in the stream today, please go through, drop a link over to roll to your podcast in the chat. So continuing on here.
And Marcus is probably watching. So Marcus, put the Roll Hit Die information in the chat as well. Marcus is almost always here. Dan might be here. I just don't know. So
sure.
If you could do that, that'd be wonderful, my friends.
Absolutely. I've been, this is all James Enelo. I apologize for that. I've been playing since 1995 and I've compiled a bunch of character sketches for you. As you can see, I went from black and white to color. Eric Reeves is one of my best artists, and Braden Michael is another great artist. I imagine you got to have like just a collection in that one bookcase that you have that just has character sheets with moths coming out of it and all kinds of stuff from you started playing, right, Alphinius?
Yeah, I do. I have I have some of my old character sheets from when I was like 16 years old, 17 years old, and it's pretty fun to look at them every once in a while. But yes, they do have moths coming off of them. Andrea, you aren't that old.
Tablets back then, or
I was thinking I still have a piece of binder paper because we didn't have actual character sheets, and we wrote our own character sheets on binder paper. And I still have my first character that I played with Donny in 1992 in a folder.
Wow.
So was that pre nuptials or was that post nuptials?
We got married in 93.
93.
3. So it was pre.
So this was like part of the ritual of
This was part of the courting. Yes. Are you a good GM? This is part of the courting.
So tell the truth, Donny. Were you easy on her because you were smitten?
I could go into a long story about that specifically. I won't. I'll save you guys the trouble. But yes, so I never believed in love at first sight, but it was definitely that.
Aww.
So you were a big softy game master because you didn't want to.
No. Don't let him fool you.
I was a hard ass gangster.
Yes.
I was all of 115 pounds. Thought I was tougher than I ever was, but she broke me.
Nice.
He'll do that. I'm gonna have to use that pickup line at Genghis Khan. Be like, hey girl, you want to roll up some characters with me?
It could work.
It might work. Probably would work.
There's a really funny YouTube video there somewhere. We'll see what happens. With that, we have posted on the Discord, but thought it'd be worth sharing here. The Red Star Rising Chapter 1 insert Golem has become a beloved and quite crass party member, dubbed Rickles. Oh my gosh, that's a great one. Was it Don Rickles?
Don Rickles, yes. You have to be old to know that one.
Player's wife got him for Christmas. I love the drawn on face too with the eyes and everything. It's so great.
Well, it's just, the insult golem has gotten a lot of play, and Jeremy was telling me about this and posted it up, and it's wonderful.
Oh, absolutely. With that, we have Namastacy. I know you guys showed this portrait off last week. This was Namastacy's post. Deep in the heart of Mithrindel is a black rock cave hidden in the overgrowth of the forest. It is said that an oracle dwells within. If you trade a trinket, you can go ahead. How do you pronounce that name there, Alphinius?
Belria.
There you go. Belria Bavrot will certainly brew a concoction to divine your fortune. But is it worth the cost? She is fantastic, and a huge thank you to the Gooey team for making this portrait happen. Stacy, thank you so much, Stacy, for all the contributions that you do to the community, and we cannot wait to see where this character is going to end up. Do you have any thoughts on where this character is going to be at, Alphinius?
Well, Mithrindel is right there in the Guys and Gax environs, so it's likely that Belria will be showing up in that environ set. So we're excited for that.
Nice. With that, our own Carrie has been working on something super secret for Genghis Khan, which we're stoked to see her reveal. We know it involves an eye poking stick and lights, and so we'll see what happens.
And somehow Coke Zero plays into the situation as well.
I feel like that's the new Mountain Dew for gamers, man.
100%. 100%.
Coke Zero is like getting it's hot. It's hot right now. Like what was his name? Hansel.
Hansel's so hot. Hansel's so hot right now. We cannot now for Donny and Andrea for Genghis Khan. Do you guys have a day that's like specifically like a cosplay day or anything like that? Okay,
No,
but
cosplay when you want to.
excellent. And then, do you guys have any like special guidelines or anything like that? That'd be good to share. With,
Pretty standard cosplay guidelines. No actual weapons. It should appear obviously fake as a weapon. It should look like a prop, especially. I mean, typically Genghis Khan, we don't have anybody carrying like fake firearms, but that's one that we don't really go with. And try to keep it PG-13. Like most of the parts are covered.
Understandable. If somebody has anything that they think might be borderline or something like that, how would they reach out to see if they can
just shoot me a picture of the costume or the description of the costume. You can email me, you can call me, and you can Facebook message us through Genghis or me. So
and all your guys' contact information should be available at Gamer Girl.
It's all over.
Yes, it's on tabletop.events. It's on the webpage. It's
my phone number on the events page. So I'll
just putting it out there, just right there, just like, hey, listen, this is how you get the boss right here.
It is.
Listen, I just want to say it's probably best that I keep most of my parts covered.
I understand that vibe.
Why?
With that, we do have a good shout out to Michelle Andrade, amazing friend of the company. Her brother, her original Dungeon Master, officially retired today. 6 years in the Marines, 14 years hiatus, and then 15 years in the Air Force. That 14-year break in service, you guys have to understand how absolutely crazy that is. Like when he went back in, like legitimately people were like, oh, look at this fucking Graybeard the Wise is here.
Did you just drop an F-bomb right in the middle
100% did. 100% did. I saw military guys and I was like, oh, okay, I'm here with friends. It's PG-13. You get one F-bomb, okay? So we're good. I just used it up.
You stole it from me.
I did. I'm sorry.
Yes, it was wonderful. And her original Dungeon Master, that was very cool.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
That is cool.
So big shout out to the Andrade family. Mr. Loki Butt. Yeah, Alphinius, you have a problem. I don't know if you realize this in your spellings and everything, where you just continually break the internet and the tech community as a whole. He goes, yep, Gooey broke Google as I was working on Lore Long Lost today. This was the Google Docs recommendation. Complete gibberish suggestion. I think it's all the apostrophes. Also, Ethernic is always autocorrected to either Ethernet or ethnic.
I do know this to be true. The Inzandra Oz, however, I mean, I don't know. I've never looked them up in Google. You talk for a second, Lawrence and Donny and Andrea, and let me just look that up and see if anything actually shows up.
So while he's looking up that, I think this is a great time to go ahead and plug some Gamer Girl swag. Stand by. I'm pulling up the excellent webpage that they have. Well, and then at that point, I'm going to go ahead and switch this over to where Andrea and Donny have to talk. Bam.
That makes it easy.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I will tell you, I wish I could show you a picture because Gooey Cube is all over this page with Inzandra Oz spelled correctly. No, it is. I mean, it's right there. I'm looking at Gooey Cube Races Guide. Gooey.
I think it was not because he put it into Google. I think it's because he's trying to put it in. He's working in Google Sheets, and Google Sheets is trying to recommend and do that kind of stuff.
Makes eminent sense.
If you guys go to gamergirls.com/shop, you guys
not
have
girls, Gamer Girl.
Gamer Girl Games.
I apologize. Gamergirlgames.com
Yeah,
/shop.
Don't go to Gamer Girl.
Yeah, that could be
That's
something
not
else.
PG-13.
Yeah. I will help everybody out right here, and then I'm going to let Donny and Andrea go ahead and talk about all the merch that they have available.
Sure. So this is our web store. This is where we kind of archive some of the things that we've sold at the convention
Or played around with.
or played around with, and just added stuff that we normally don't sell at a convention. Like that shirt specifically there is online only.
Oh my gosh.
Comprehend
I'm
language.
still mad about it.
Comprehend language is a touch delivered spell. You have to touch it.
Oh my god.
We did it wrong for 30 years.
Yeah.
So it makes us laugh.
So a lot of those things are online only. They ship direct. So if you want
Lots
the
of
hoodie,
colors
you want
available,
the shirts. And so we're gonna have a lot of stuff at the convention too. But if people want to, get in front of things,
That's this.
That's that mug.
Yeah, that looks
That
great.
is-
Genghis mug.
That's this year's mug. But if you pre-order, and there'll be a link available for that.
Stand by. I'm pulling up
Debbie-
the screen.
Debbie, you guys know her. She has done our logos and she does all of the pottery for us, right? And she loves you guys. So if you pre-order a mug, she will make it gooey green for you.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, and she said in the pre-order it says notes, just say make it gooey. And that will be available by pre-order. So special gooey Genghis mugs. And I think this is so cool, so I'm just giving it a shout out. I don't have tiny hands, but this is about an 8-ounce cup. And this is what is going in the VIG swag bags this year.
Wow, very nice.
That's-
You know, I
that's
Goo
all
Morning
Debbie.
Zyathé, I drink from one of Debbie's mugs all the time with the eyeballs and all that stuff. Very fun.
Yep,
I think I'm the only one that has a left-handed mug.
you are,
Weirdo.
right?
Like, I just didn't like
is.
the rim touching my mustache.
For folks who are watching the stream right here, right as you go to checkout, the very top of the section here, it says or add note to the seller. You go ahead, just put it there, just put make it gooey, and then you can go ahead and get that gooey green. I'll make sure it gets up on the Facebook as well for the instructions and whatnot, so that way we can make sure we show up to Genghis Con in force with all of our gooey green Genghis mugs. So with
Lawrence,
that,
you better get you, me, and camera Mandy one.
yeah, just go ahead and give me your credit card information. I'll just put it in right here on the screen. Just right
Probably
here.
not the best idea to do that
Before
right
you do
now.
that, let me get a pen.
That's
All right.
that's the real secret around the way is Alphinius Goo's credit card information. But with that, heading on back over to our social medias, we're going to go ahead and we're going to zoom it through here. This one was awesome from our Mr. Chet. The Colt is up to its Shenanigans head. My hands are snails, and I don't like that. It is genuinely disturbing. However, on Friday, we got to have our good friend Andy come down and talk about corruption magics. And this is something I feel like would be an effect that would happen if you end up using too many of those corruption magics. So we probably need to make sure that that makes it into the corruption table there, Andy. I know. Alphinius, I actually can't hear you. Alphinius, I think you're muted. Donny and Andrea, can you guys hear him?
I can hear you just fine.
We can hear you. We can't
we
hear
can.
him.
Ah, perfect. We figured out the perfect stream. Oh, there's a kiddo.
That was why.
I just my little grandy girl was over here and say hello to everybody. Look up here. Look right up here.
Hi.
Look here and
How
say
you
hello.
doing, girl?
Can you look up here and say hello? You are the not shyest girl in the world. Say hello. All right, get out of here. You're terrible on screen.
I like this one's actually pretty good. Oh, it's a mini goo. It's awesome. As always, make sure that you're paying attention to your surroundings in your con games. When you're exploring the dungeon to discover that the traps are massive and facing the wrong direction, it means that the traps aren't for you.
Well, it's getting out that is the problem, I think.
Oh yeah. Well, they're there to keep the big bad in check.
Yeah, that's right.
It's always fun when the locks are on the wrong side of the door. What I can't wait is when I get my gooey green mug and then with Donny and we're doing mead tasting from Michelle.
That doesn't sound bad at all.
Oh no, not
Bring
at
it.
all. It's gonna
What
be
could
great.
possibly happen?
It's eventually there's a point of the night where you get evil Donny, and then the conversations get really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Well-
but the thing is, you got to be tough enough to make it that far, right? If you're not tough enough, you don't get to see evil Donny. You got to really pull it all the way to the edge.
There are
Most
con
people-
checks involved.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, most people have given up by that time.
Well, so and then the real thing is partying late isn't the thing. It's waking up early and making it on time to your game the next morning. That's how you're a legend. It's like, yes,
Yeah,
I was up
that's
all night. I
true.
got an hour of sleep. Let's run this game, folks. With that, I did want to go do a shout out to our good friend David Benavides and Chet as they have a t-shirt sale going on as we get into convention season. Make sure you head on over to it looks like nitoshop.com or David Benavides if you want to drop it. Also, fun fact: David Benavides was the #2 commenter in the Gooey Facebook group this week.
David is amazing and wonderful and fun to be with and makes us laugh all the time. And I appreciate it more than anyone knows. And again, the community is what it's all about. And without all that wonderful jabber and funness, it wouldn't be the same. It's wonderful.
He had like 200 comments on post this week. Like he was an absolute monster. This one, I want to do a little shout out to Luke here. You posted this up, Alphinius. I'll let you talk about it real quick.
Yeah, I did. I was looking at I get all this stuff on my feeds now. You know how this is, Andrea and Donny, and you too, Lawrence. Where you spend your time looking is where you get stuff fed to, right? So, so this happened to pop up, and I'm looking at this, and I'm going, that's amazing. I mean, that is just amazing. And you're talking about this is like in the beginning, in the years when the cartoon had come out and all of that stuff, and they put them all in there with the characters, and it was wonderful to see Gary. And I just thought, what a fun thing to post. So
I can hear that picture.
Yeah, isn't that something?
All right, so let's see who on stream here can name all the characters.
Oh no!
I asked that question. I asked that question. I cannot. I would be cheating. I know now because people have posted them, and it reminded me. But I cannot. I cannot do all the characters.
For sure. And I think we've got one or two left here. We had a question on e-readers. I figured we'd go ahead and just post this up, get a whole bunch of feedback here inside the comments. Seeking options on e-readers. Hello, Gooey family. I'm thinking of getting an e-reader to make bringing the digital copies of the adventure and the GM guides to our table. Our space doesn't work well for my laptop. Does anyone use one? And how well does it display? I also figured Andrea and Donny would have a great insight onto this, given the fact that they see thousands of games every year and kind of seeing what different resources DMs and stuff bring to it. Do we have any thoughts for the panel here?
So what I use is I have a large laptop that it actually folds the opposite direction and is a tablet as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so it will lay in any position that I want as a laptop.
Or a giant tablet.
Or a giant tablet, of course. But like you're using a Remarkable.
Yeah, but that's mostly just for notes.
Yeah.
And an iPad, I've had a number of people tell me iPads work great for this. So again, that's what I know. What is the chat saying, Lawrence? You got anybody?
I'm seeing some iPad Pro stuff. I'm seeing some Kindles. I think it really just depends. I like what Donny suggested. I think is a really good suggestion, just because being able to fold it over, then it's freestanding. It's kind of the same concept of like for our books, having them spiral bound so they lay flat. If you have a tablet, then you kind of have that. You can't have it propped up, kind of looking unless you have it leaned up against something. So being able to do the TP with a laptop, I think is generally a decent idea. Lots of recommendations for iPads, which obviously, your D&D Beyond is always going to run seamlessly on that. A lot of your different tools and your a lot of your like Patreon tools, stuff like that. Like I use like an initiative tracker. All of those are going to be optimized for iPad and Android. So definitely going that route versus Kindle is going to be probably a little bit more seamless interaction. So
when I'm running my games, I don't use more than a 3-panel screen, and I use the laptop as that 4th panel.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I actually ended up doing too, because I run very multimedia like games and stuff like that, where almost a 2-panel screen would almost even be enough for me, and then I just use the laptop for the rest of it. So I think Donny and I are in the pretty similar field as far as that goes. So make sure you reach out to this individual. I can never pronounce their name.
Samain.
Samain.
Yes.
Reach out to them on Facebook and let them know what your guys' recommendations are. Anyone need a free demon? I'm not going to read this whole thing.
Yes, this was a little uncomfortable. I know. I was like, "Ooh, it was a nightmare, right?" It was this is worth reading. Bill puts a lot of good stuff up, and this is worth checking out. A little inspirational and worth taking a look at.
Oh yeah, and whenever you guys find stuff like this, whatever that's like characters and like that, absolutely post up in the Facebook group because somebody else might be looking for something for their game. Let's check it all out. And I think the last one that we have here is, hey, how's that read this first coming, Alphinius?
Yeah, it'll be done.
Oh, okay. Just the last thing that we're gonna do.
It'll be the last thing. Well, except for the OSD conversion for Tomb of Gazagax we're doing tomorrow, right?
Yep.
So that's the plan. So yeah, I think it's pretty good. I posted up one of the maps that Jesus and Steven had finished up. I posted up one of those. It really, really looks good.
Oh yeah.
In fact, have you got a second to just grab it real quick?
If
Just
you talk about
right
stuff,
there
I
on the
can.
Facebook. Yep, it's right there. It's where I think the folks will like to see it. Our maps are hand worked. Obviously, we have lots of assets that we've already created and some that we licensed from a marvelous artist named Gabriel Pickard and Steve Gaudreau. But most of them, we take them and then modify them and do adjustments to them, and then light and shadow and all of that stuff. And this is the Tomb of Guys and Gax is actually the wizard's tower that he built here on Avalon Hill. You see what I did there? Avalon Hill.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, okay, very good. Yes, Luke liked that. He actually laughed when I said, I want to call it Avalon Hill. He said, okay. All right, if you're in the chat and you know what I'm referencing, put it up there and let us know. Because in the old days, right, all they did was war game, right, before, right, and then they came up with chainmail, and then chainmail came to the next thing, and that's how Dungeons and Dragons evolved. We love maps, right, and we love to make maps that are beautiful and magnificent, and we have all of these wonderful assets that we have now created and put together, and they all help make these wonderful things. So zoom in on it a little bit if you can, Lawrence.
I'll see what I can do.
You got
here.
no zoomy?
I do not.
All right. Well, that's good enough. That's all right. This is that's all right. Don't worry about it. But you can see how, Stephen and Jesus and Stephen really worked hard. I mean, come on, Donny. Come on, Andrea. This is pretty good. Yes.
It's
It's
awesome.
very good. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they walk. This is the first level of the tower. I don't want to be too spoily. But you come to the tower, which has now been referred to as the Tomb of Guys and Gax, because the wizard is assumed to be dead. They haven't seen him in a long time. And monsters are all over Avalon Hill, and people don't understand what's happening. And then Lukaj Guys and Gax, along with his family, his wife Bushira, and the three girls, all come to Avalon Hill and find out that his father is missing. And so this is how the tale begins. And when you enter the first level, this is what you see. But I think that's pretty right there.
So, without any spoilers, maybe spoilers, are there any
Maybe all
books in there?
spoilers.
Are there any what?
Books.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Do we have titles for all of those books? Because my players are an annoyance asking for every single title.
I'm the annoying
So there are actually resources. I have this, Donny. I bought a number of these because it used to drive me nuts with the same damn thing. Okay. So there's like 101 book titles and subjects on that you can get on Drive-Thru RPG and others like that, so you can get these titles. And then every once in a while, I'll make up a few titles of my own so that I can do that. And obviously, if there's a book they need to find, that has a whole different thing. But I I did not title all the books. Sorry about that.
I think Donny brought up a good thing. I think we should add 4 more pages to it and add in a couple of tables of books.
It's 72 pages, I think, Lawrence. Right? It's a huge. It's a lot. It's
I mean,
a lot.
this is my proof copy of where I'm finding all of Alphinius's mistakes and such. So
Tell the truth, Lawrence. Not many. Tell the truth.
I mean, not many is still some.
Nobody is perfect.
No one is perfect. Thank you, Andrea. You are dear and marvelous. Not like Lauren.
Alphinius did a pretty. Hey man, I'm just as hard on you as I am everybody else in the company. No, Alphinius did a pretty good first time through. There's only a few things that I was able to find. And then other than that, the rest of it all made a lot of sense. And then I was actually really stoked because this is the first chance that I got. So I've been running a lot of the production stuff for Gooey Cube, so I don't get to do a lot of the creative writing and everything like that because I'm trying to line up printers and get shipments out and all that kind of stuff. But I actually got a chance to go through and read through it. And Alphinius did a really great job with the storyline. There's some awesome. He never talks about the amazing role play stuff that's all at the front of it. He's always just like, "Oh, check out the tower and stuff." And I'm like, "Dude, there's a whole like front. I'm gonna spend 8 sessions at the start here just talking to people." So there's a really good travel to the tower. He's done a really good job with the adventure, plugging in all that stuff. And so it's going, when people really get through it, when they start reading and everything, you guys are going to enjoy it. It's got the great Gooey feel to it and stuff. And then it's a lot of content and a lot of opportunities for GMs to very easily stick in their own stuff. So, but
and
with
true,
that,
and true to Gary, because this could be pretty dangerous. We really we got some traps in here that could blow people up and all of that kind of stuff. And it's in fact, we give the GMs the option to nerf
Mhm.
All right. We're going to talk about Genghis Khan.
We can.
We are. I would like to talk about Genghis Khan. It is my favorite convention that we do. It has the best feel of all the stuff. I went to 4 conventions last year, and by far, Genghis was the most fun that I had had. And so let's go ahead and get into the origin story. We need the full how you and Donny met. I feel like the entire audience wants to know that. And then I also want to know why I'm on the front page.
It's that burliness, Lawrence. It's all that burliness.
It's something. I went over and I was trying to look up some of the stuff about special guests and stuff and trying to verify some of the details. I was like, oh, I'm on the website.
You're on the website.
That's still weird for me.
Yeah.
So that just, there was a couple of streams ago that we were on that we gave that story. So I'm kind of finding out you didn't watch that one.
Yeah, if I'm not on it, why would I watch it? Because all I do is just creates anxiety. Because him or Alphinius and Mandy, all they do is just promise more projects and more projects.
This is true.
And I'm sitting here and I'm like, I gotta figure out how to balance all this stuff.
Yeah. Also, that is a great tale to have. I mean, the stream, awesome. Let's do it here. But the after parties at Genghis Khan is the best version of that story. And
I'm more than happy to get Donny hopped up on meat and then hear that story.
So listen, I just want to tell everybody the reason why Genghis is so marvelous is first and foremost, it's wonderful gaming, right? Because that's what we go for. We all go for wonderful gaming. There's lots of quality game masters. There's wonderful events, all of that stuff. But it is the intimacy of it that makes it so special. Right. And even, I've talked to Donny and Andrea, and I apologize, I'm speaking for you, but I've said, what about getting bigger? And there's some concern that if it gets bigger, that it'll lose its soul a little bit. Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Go ahead. Take it from there. You can take it from there.
So we started going to Genghis in 2000 when we moved to Colorado. And I still can't remember if Genghis or Tacticon was my first convention ever. And it was much smaller at the time, but I was like, oh, that's not so bad. And this was at a time where showing up into a gaming table, I was typically, just like in Knights of the Dinner Table, the one girl. And it was a little bit unusual, but I fell in love with it. I'd already been a gamer and I was like, oh, conventions are cool. But as we've grown Genghis and gotten to know it and gotten to know the community, as he was saying, we started going and he would run games and we would see the same people year after year after year. And sometimes Genghis is the only place we get to see people from across the country. They would come together and we would game. And it just, it already felt like a family for us. And so that was an important thing for us to make sure that we didn't lose. Mm-hmm. So that is probably the thing that I try the hardest at is to make sure that people feel relevant and welcome and that they know that there's always going to be a space at whatever table it is. If you want to play Uno, that's cool. If you want to get dark and dirty into, some RPGs, or you really just want to go play Catan, whatever it is, right? Like, there will be a table for you to find somebody to play a game with.
Yeah. And it's not, if you've been to bigger conventions where they have certain sequestered areas where you need to be special to get in those areas, like our after parties, we only limit the number because of the catering, the drink tickets, and the size of the space. So this year we've kind of, open it up, and when the catering's gone, it's just gone, and that's fine. People just want to hang out. They're not necessarily there for that. So this year, all of our after parties are going to be on the
floor,
the main floor, in conference room 2. We're going to have some lounge chairs set up. It's going to be more place for people to just sit and chat, and then get up and mingle and go talk to people that maybe they haven't met yet. But all of our special guests, that's a requirement to be a special guest. And the special guests have to interact with you. That's their job. That's why we bring them there. We don't bring them there because we want to hobnob with, Alphinius. We know that guy. We know where he lives. We want you to meet him. We want you to sit and hang out with him. We want you to talk to Lawrence. We want, you to develop those relationships that make us love this convention.
To sing Black Sabbath with Stefan.
To sing Black Sabbath with Stefan.
That's Donny. You and I are going to have a competition for the biggest party animal with Stefan there, because that dude.
I don't know, man. It's awesome.
Hey, Lawrence, you know what? Let's put it to the people, and I will do this. I will find a Pinkie Pie, My Little Pony.
Okay.
And the person that is the biggest party animal on Sunday will win that Pinkie Pie, because Pinkie Pie loves to party.
All right. It is official. There's a competition for the Party Pinkie Pie trophy of Genghis Khan. Front runners right now are Donny, Gooey Lawrence, and Stefan. And
this feels rigged to me. I want to.
Yeah, this does feel a little rigged.
We need some of the people to step up and be party animals.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's an open thing. I'm just saying every tournament has first seed. That's just how it goes.
Well, I will not be in the competition, believe me.
No, you're in the competition for most naps during a convention.
Yes, that's right. Most convention napper. Okay, you see the question here, Donny, Andrea?
Yeah. So does Genghis Khan do generic tickets? And the answer is not anymore. We found that we just printed a bunch of extra paper for people to spend money, and a lot of people ended up not using their generic tickets. We don't really want to have in place where you hand the GM something and he writes your name down and they have to bring that back to us, and it creates a lot of.
I don't want my GMs to have that much paperwork, is basically what it comes down to. So, I mean, yes, you buy a badge and then you buy tickets to reserve your spot in specific games. And there are no generic tickets. If you're an orphan gamer, find a red shirt. This is red shirts this year. So they'll be easy to find.
This is your generic ticket. Find somebody in a red shirt. They will find you a place to be, and they will say, "Hey, do you have room in your game? This guy really wants to play, or this gal really wants to play. Can they come play?" And then your generic ticket is, you can essentially band it into some things. Obviously, if you want to pre-schedule into,
I recommend it.
Recommend
I really
it.
do.
If you want to get a game that's more popular, of the more popular games, you probably need to pre-register.
Yeah, I mean, it's
You won't get it.
if you know that you want to game hard starting on Thursday at 9:00 in the morning, it's available to you, but schedule it ahead of time for yourself. If you've been to Genghis before, we're pretty tight in the space. So doing like a pickup RPG, not really. We don't really have the space for that. Pickup board games, we have space for that. But so generic tickets aren't really a thing. Honestly, for me, it was just too much of a headache for my GMs and people running it, and they're already running a game. I don't need to ask more of them. So that's pretty much why we don't do generics.
Any other questions from the chat there, Lawrence, while we're gabbing about this?
Yeah, so I got one here just talking about, I switched games after signing up. How do I refund, or how do I return the first ticket?
So I didn't tell the boss this, and now you're making me tell the boss this. So we typically don't do refunds on tickets, just because we have a VIG process where people can, early purchase, and then they, revert that ticket back. And there was a lot of people that were buying tickets, and then they see another game that popped onto the schedule. And so they were saying, "Hey, I don't even want the money back. Can I just return the ticket
so somebody else can get it?"
So I set it to, we'll give you 50% back. That way the GM the ticket becomes available. And it should be a user end process. You should be able to refund your own ticket to each event.
So is that a yes or a no?
That's a yes. There's a refund. How do you do it? Go to your profile, go to your events, go to events that you're attending, your list of games, hit the 3 little dots and hit delete.
Andy,
Thank you, Randy.
Marvelous.
Andy is an absolute superhero. Andy literally found the lost swamp monster.
Do you want to know? Randy heard about Genghis Khan because Andrea was having the exterior of our house painted, and talked to the guy that was painting the house.
Because I talk to everybody.
Yeah, just told them all about Genghis Khan and Tacticon, and that painter went and told Randy.
That's actually one of the things I haven't told Alphinius this, but anytime like an HVAC person comes to our building to like fix something, they always generally leave with like a darkest dream. I'm always like, I really appreciate you. Do you like Dungeons and Dragons? Here you go.
Right?
One of the dudes was stoked because his brother was huge into it. He's like, I'm going to give this to my brother. And then he came back the following day. And he's like, dude, you have no idea how blown away my brother was. And I was just like, oh, well, you want some more stuff? Like, Alphinius is at home writing, supposedly. So, like, nobody's going to tell me no.
It sounds like you're giving away any profitability you might have for the next 5 years, Lawrence.
Precisely. I gave away so many Darken Havens to that one individual. That was precisely it. So at the proper gamergirlgames.com, I'm going to practice to say that. Very easy webpage to go through and lay out. They have it very clearly. If you go under attend, you can check out getting a badge, and then you can go under the events. And then this right here is tabletop events, where they have I'm assuming this is all your guys' games that you have, and then you just go through.
Yeah, there's about, I think there's a little over 500 games. I have some more that I need to schedule, and I get this question a lot. People submit games and they get approved, and then they don't show up on the schedule. And that is a tabletop.events thing. I have to approve it, and then I have to manually schedule it and decide which room and what table it's going to.
That sounds like the worst.
It's not my favorite. So when you schedule 500 games and you have to individually go back and forth and do it. So to answer that question for folks, that's why if your game gets approved, it's me that's going through manually doing all of that. So it takes me some time. And sometimes, if I'm honest, I'd rather knit and watch a crime show than stare at a spreadsheet. So
what?
So I got to ask you a question, Andrea. So, my dear. We are big fans, Ms. Goo and I, of this Murdoch Mysteries. Have you seen the Murdoch Mysteries?
I have not. I will put it on my list.
Do you like the mysteries that are not quite so action oriented with shoot 'em ups like this?
Yeah. I grew up watching Murder, She Wrote.
Oh yes. So you must check out Murdoch Mysteries.
I'm writing it down.
Ms. Goo and I have been enjoying Has anybody in the chat seen Murdoch Mysteries and know what I'm speaking of? I mean, this is a good little show, and it's been going on. It's on. I think it's a BBC production, and it's been many episodes.
Okay,
I find it quite enjoyable.
Yeah, that's my downtime. So the other thing, TTE, tabletop.events, is I've been running a convention on the back end now with it for years, and it's still not intuitive to me. So if you get stuck or you get frustrated, especially if it's your first time coming into a convention or trying to figure this out, don't hesitate to email me, text me, or call me, because I get it. It can be overwhelming. So,
Lawrence, are you live with this, or is this a screenshot?
No, this is live.
Okay, so just take a moment and show someone how they get a ticket to go to the Great Gooey Dungeon Game Show.
All right, here we go.
Got to search it first, right? So let's search it.
You can go to attend.
Attend.
So you're already on schedule events. So go to event schedule. That's where you're at. And then the event types, you can just scroll down. Not all the way down.
I apologize.
Gooey Cube 5e RPG. And that's all of the games. And you can go down to the bottom, and you can, if you like somebody, there's some bottom buttons down there that say space, hosts, age, price. Go to hosts. We want to see if Lawrence is running it or if just Casey put all those in.
Casey put them all in.
He put in Kim, though, which is a faux pas.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. So right here. So it looks like all the hosts for this are, so obviously we have right
he
here.
back submitted. So
yeah,
if I can go back and add GMs if you would like to know who specifically is running which one. But again, that's like, I need to know who's running it Friday at 5, and then I can go back in and add that. But right now, that's
the good note is that the person who has all that information is over at Disney World right now.
I would not be concerned. We do a good job of vetting our game masters.
Yeah, I'm not worried.
We have marvelous game masters. They get very, very strong positive reviews every year. So I would.
Dude, Alphinius, do you see this 3D dungeon crawlers, the ancient crypts of Brondenfold?
Yes, there's all kinds of weird things that I don't even know about.
They got some cool stuff on here.
I know.
Oh, you guys do.
I know.
I'm super excited for it. So I'm running my first Dresden Files game, and then I actually need to link up with Donny and Andrea because I need to get some multimedia shots for it with them because Andrea gets captured and they have to figure out how to get her back.
You have to wear like a cool, sort of 1930s, 1940s, outfit that has a little fantasy,
Oh no, it's current. It's actually I play it, so it's current day. And then this is actually something really excited because Donny and Andrea and I had talked about this almost like a year and a half ago, where she had specifically brought up about what Genghis Khan does to try and really accommodate gamers who suffer from things like sensory overload and things like that, and how and one of the things that came to my mind immediately was the ability to do like a closed loop audio system. And so essentially for my games, what I'm actually going to do is there'll be 7 headsets. They're all Bluetoothed into the same computer and they're all set on the same audio channel. So that way we're going to be able to hear each other very clearly. They'll go through noise canceling out for the rest of the stuff going on. And then I actually have some multimedia video stuff that I'll be showing. And so I'll be able to have the full audio for the videos and stuff that are going on for the game. And then nobody else in the room are actually going to be able to hear it. And I'm super excited. I've been like planning this thing out for like a year and a half.
It's awesome. I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm hoping, and then again, I'm hoping in the future that's something that our EOs are able to offer, where if you have an individual who struggles in that and we're not able to get them a room to help out with that, but like, okay, well, let's see if we can go through and get everybody on this audio system where it has noise canceling headphones. You're able to just hear your table and nothing else going on and stuff. And it should be very modular. So thank you, Donny and Andrea. That was something that's been a year and a half in the work from your guys' inspiration.
Love it. Love.
One sign up for one of our crazy events.
The search function is not awesome on tabletop. So that's what I'm like, what's the best way to do it is to find the event number. So if you go to I don't know, he's on a different plan. So if you search
170?
should type 170, it should bring it right up.
Yep.
And
so this one pulls up here, just go into get.
Yep.
There we go. All the details, all the attendee. Oh, cool. It shows everybody else is showing up too.
Yeah.
Dope. And then I think that's basically it. I don't see anything else on here. And then I'm sure if it's I just go into my account and go from there. I'm also not logged in, so I'm sure that's part of the issue.
Yeah, that's
also.
part of it. Yeah.
Yeah, you must log in and create an account.
Yeah, do make sure, don't wait too long to get your tickets, because it's still pretty early compared to a lot of people wait till the last minute, and a lot of times the games that they wanted are not available.
Yeah, I cannot stress this enough. I do accept, until I'm out of room, I will accept games. But if you know that there is a schedule that you want to build for yourself, build it now.
Yes, indeed.
Build it now. And it seems like, oh, it's a month away.
It's coming fast.
It's coming fast. And, we opened on New Year's Day, right? New Year's Eve.
New Year's Eve, yes.
So we opened all ticket sales on New Year's Eve. So midnight, New Year's Eve, he and I are answering texts and messages from people who are building their schedule, who had set alarms to do this. So it was pretty crazy, but I highly recommend building your schedule now.
And just make sure everybody understands this happens at the Marriott, right?
Hyatt.
At the Hyatt in Aurora, yes?
Yeah, it's for
The
those,
Grand Hyatt.
depending on how your direction sense is, my direction sense is relative to something else. So it's across the street from Children's Hospital. It is on 225 and Colfax for those who like streets. And it is technically Aurora. 15-minute Uber from or Lyft from the airport. And hotels, if you have not booked your room, I also highly recommend doing that. We are very close to being sold out for rooms.
Yeah, I think there's only single kings left, no more double queens.
Yeah, there is a link. If you go to gamergirlgames.com, there's buy a badge, get a room, I think is what's on there. So there is a code. And if it says that it's full, it depends on if you're booking from Wednesday to Monday. You might be able to get the block Thursday, Friday, Saturday, but not the block on Wednesday and Monday. So you might actually have to call the Hyatt. And I know some of us hate making those kinds of phone calls, but it could save you. I get it. But it could save you some cash if you call them and tell them you're with Genghis Khan.
At gamergirlgames.com. If you guys just scroll down from the main page, right down here is where you get to Hyatt Regency Aurora Denver Converts. Book your room. Boop.
Yep.
And it took me to a different screen where I could book my room.
Yeah, it'll take you to a Hyatt page.
And it should auto-populate the code in there. But if you can find a better deal through your own travel agency, or if you got points or whatever, do that, because
do that, but tell them you're with Genghis Khan.
Yeah, tell them you're with Genghis Khan.
Mhm.
That way, we have a pick. I mean, I think
We're pretty close.
we've met our room engagement. That's why they closed the block. They do reserve, a percentage of that because it is across the street from a hospital.
They have to.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense. Johnny and Andrea, just so you guys know, that link on the main page is broken.
Okay, I'll bug my tech wizard.
Chris.
Chris watching, that's what I want to know.
That's literally like Alphinius could be like, "Oh, my mouse is broken." Riley,
that's me, Chris.
No, it is. Genghis is wonderful. We are so excited to go. There'll be tons of gooey people there. We got. I mean, how many games did you say, Andrea?
Over 500.
Over 500, yes.
And
good.
It's over 500, and that does not include. So the Wyoming Gaming Library is still coming,
right. And
Gamer Girl Games Library will also be there. So the two libraries are both coming, and they're pretty different libraries. And Brad, who runs that board game section of the world for us, will be entering at least another 50 games that are taught by stewards.
Mm-hmm.
So
for those who might not know, tell them about these libraries, because I did not know about them until just a few years ago, right? So tell people what they do.
Okay, so Wyoming Board Game Library.
Wyoming Gaming Library.
Sorry, Wyoming Gaming Library and Gamer Girl Games Libraries both work the same way. We bring all of the board games, and I think we'll be probably close to 600 board games that we bring. I make sure for our board game library to go through the top 10 like hotness list and try and get copies of that in there. So there are games in the library that truthfully I've never played, but people are like, this is a great game. Cool, I'll put it in the library. And you can check it out for free. So there's no requirement. You have to like give your driver's license check in so you don't walk away with the game, which I don't think anybody in our community would do. But yeah, you
I
can
found
go.
it's more so that way you don't forget like that you have the game.
Right.
more often than not.
Like the ADD is real, and you're like, oh, and I just put, or you turn into a Kender, and you don't necessarily mean to. And so you can check out a library game for free.
Just a reminder every time you go get a drink that, oh, that's right, my driver's license over there because I have this game out.
Right. So it's one of those things. But there are also, Brad brings heralds/stewards who will walk you through the game, introduce you to the rules for most of the games that are there. And it's pretty cool, man. I mean, it is like where I don't know anywhere else outside of conventions really that you can go check out a game and just play it and have somebody help you with it. So I love it.
And a lot of times, people will just show up and say, hey, I really want to try like Arc Nova.
Yeah.
And then they get the game and they're like, oh my God, it's still in shrink wrap. And they get to open it up and they get to punch it out and do all that fun stuff. And then somebody's going to teach them how to play. It's the best way to go, try a game to see if you like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the gaming libraries, they're fantastic. I mean, they're really, really wonderful, and do give people the opportunity to try a game that they might have, go spend $100 on and decide they don't care for, right? Then that sucks.
Or this is the greatest thing ever. Like I watch people play Flamecraft, right? And it's a resource management game with dragons. Adorable, right? Cute little artwork, and then you realize it's cutthroat. And I talked to this one group of people who are like, "This is amazing. Do you have the expansion?" And then they go and look to see they have the expansion, right? And it just became, and they played that game like all weekend. And I finally played it a couple weekends ago, and I was like, oh, I get it. So people they find their new jam sometimes, and I love that for people. I love that.
I have a
And if you
question.
need a quick 2-player pickup game, it has those in there. We have solo games in the library. So if you need to defrag for a little bit and want to do that, that's an option from the library.
I have 2 questions. In the library, is there the official Genghis Khan dice game?
Yes.
Excellent. If you guys don't know, Donny and Andre have their very own dice game. That's a lot of fun to play.
And an expansion will be available at this Genghis Khan.
Say what?
Say what? Yeah.
Definitely pick that one up. I've played it. It's a lot of fun. Andrea had, what is it? You had 3 very specific things for your dice game. And I feel like these are just common sense, amazing guidelines for the product development.
Yeah.
What were those things, Andrea?
Portable,
Mm-hmm.
accessible, and quick. But the biggest thing is we play tested this game by going to breweries, and we had people sit across the table, and maybe they were a couple sheets in, and they would come say, "What are you doing?" We're playing dice. Can I play? And there's my copas. Anybody can play it. That was probably the biggest thing for me, that anybody can play it and it's portable and that you can take it
So
with
what
you.
you're really saying is that the creation of this marvelous dice game was really just an excuse to go out drinking.
Well,
Yes.
maybe I really like food trucks. Okay.
I think when Andrea pitched it to me, she was like, it had to be a game that you could learn in under 5 minutes. And then there was the fidget spinner aspect of it as well.
Oh, I assume that everybody knows that about me. I really like tactile games.
Mm-hmm.
So the games that I typically find are usually for ages 4 and up, because they have you get to move something, you get to play with something, you have something that you can do with your hands, and it's quick. So that's a big thing for me. But
2 questions, just addressing in the chat real quick before I circle back to one of the coolest things I think about Genghis Khan. Gooey Cube question: which player handbook should we bring, 2014 or 2024? Is there standard for the con? For Gooey Cube games, we are still on 2014 unless otherwise stated. So if a game master is running a specific custom game, obviously like me for my Dresden Files game, I'm running Fates. That's not Dungeons and Dragons at all. 2014 for us. Donny and Andre, this is probably a good question for if a player has a question, if they're going into a D&D game. Is that something that you guys have? Is that something that they need to reach out to the dungeon master to be like, hey, which version of Player's Handbook should I bring for a D&D game? Or what would be probably the best way to find that information?
So if they're playing
Adventures League
League has all their own requirements. Yeah, reach out to Scale.
Mm-hmm.
They will also be on site. They'll have a table with people there to answer all of your questions.
Sarah, one of our former cons, our ex-con Sarah, she will be there, and she can answer any questions. And typically, if you showed up with the wrong thing, that community is going to have something to help you. You're not going to have to go, oh, I can't play because I brought the wrong version. That's not going to happen. Somebody will have an option for you.
Well, and honestly, I mean, the new 5e and the old 5e are not so dissimilar that it's really that big of a deal. Which I'm glad that they did that, because I think that there would have been a lot of pushback. People were the grasp for money, right? For more money, right? It just starts getting ludicrous.
Yeah.
Our WotC representative in the chat said was able to, for all Adventures League stuff, you're looking at 2024.
Is that Laura? Is that true? All 24, 100%?
For Adventures League stuff, that's what it looks like.
Yes, that's what I'm asking.
Yep. So just a clarification.
Lawrence, we're gonna have to go through all our stuff here over the next couple of years and update.
Oh, we gotta do that. Then also, I mean, the fan base that we have for OSC as well, going through and converting all that stuff. We got Gooey Cube's got the most insane production schedule ever, which is why I get more gray hairs in my beard every time that Alphinius is like, I want to do this other project. I'm like, all right, well, there's only 50 other projects on the board over there. You got to choose one. He's like, no, we're going to do all of them.
No, we're going to do 51. We have a question/request.
Yes, please.
So this one comes specifically from Tone. Tone's still Tone. Everybody knows
Is this
Tone.
in the chat that I can highlight it on screen for everybody?
No.
Is Tone truly still Tone?
Yes.
Yes, he
Still
is.
Tone.
He's
Just
still
making
tough.
sure.
So we have a large staff right now of volunteers, people that like to help us out.
And a dirty secret that goes with that.
A dirty secret that goes
Yeah.
with that.
None of us love Catan.
So Tone has put it out here. If anybody
Seriously.
on the Sunday of the convention would love to be the administrator / tournament organizer for the Catan tournament.
It's the Catan national qualifier.
Ooh.
Oh, so you got to have a little Catan background here. Yes?
A little bit. Not much.
Ideally, I will tell you this. Ideally, I need somebody who has some inkling of how to work Best Coast pairings. And it is pretty much 9, depending on how fast these people play, it goes from 9 to about 2. And if somebody wants to run that tournament for me, I would be grateful and I would give you a badge.
All right. We will put that out. I'll go through and get the some more of the details. We'll put that out in our newsletter, and then we'll also put it out in our Facebook group as we try and find. We're looking for a Catan tournament organizer.
Yes.
Obviously, 4 to 20 years of experience necessary. Probably military.
PhD in collecting wool.
Yep. Special operations background,
Yes.
preferably. Former NASA. Probably
that could be useful. Yeah.
John has a question when it is, and it's on Sunday.
Sunday, 9:00 in the morning.
Yeah, so Sunday 9:00.
So is Laura still in the chat? So do we want to talk about AL at Genghis Khan at all? We got Laura in the chat. Yeah, let's do that real quick. We're running a little long, but this is good.
I mean, do you want to bring Laura on the stream to talk about it?
No. We don't have to. Laura had any comments, or if Donny and Andrea wanted to talk about it.
So DDAL is, it is a pillar of Genghis Khan, and has been for years. And Michael, I lovingly call him the dwarf. When you meet him, you'll understand. He's not a little person, but he has the Lord of the Rings dwarf vibe to him. Mm-hmm. He has been running it for years. He now runs it through Scale. They will have an epic, and it is probably, 60 plus games. I'm not sure exactly. So and they have all the tiers. And if you've never played D&D, that is a welcoming place to start as well. If you've never made a character, I watched Sarah take 2 14-year-old kids who were like, I really want to play Dungeons and Dragons. I've never played before. I don't know what I'm doing. And she just sat there with them and talked them through making characters, and they had the greatest time of their lives. So it's a great place if you want to start. You can dabble. Also, if you are that person who knows your track and want to build your character, you can do it over Genghis. But you better start registering Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and you'll have to fill your schedule, but you can do it. And so that is what some people just come to focus in on, and it's great.
Yeah. So the D&D community is huge.
Yeah.
The Gooey Cube community is huge. We also have Pathfinder and
Chaosium.
Chaosium is coming, and so
Free League.
We currently don't have Jeff Richard or Claudia's games on the schedule yet because I don't have their descriptions.
They're running the board game.
They are bringing, yeah.
So we can probably go ahead and talk about your special guest lineup. This is probably.
Oh yeah, we have some good special guests coming.
So excited to see Stefan Picorni again. This dude is an absolute monster. We're gonna see how chill the after party is, but more than likely, this guy's bringing his own speaker sound system.
He's bringing his own sound system.
It's just gonna be Black Sabbath and frickin'
Black Sabbath karaoke. Yes, it's happening.
I was this close over at GaryCon to hijacking the karaoke to do I Want It That Way by the Backstreet Boys, just to completely throw off the whole vibe. But I was afraid that the tribe of Picorni Knights were gonna jump me, so I was just like, maybe I'll just let them do their thing. So excited to see him. And then again, great thing. Obviously, you can tell. I mean, how many other conventions do the owners / operators just put their personal cell phone up on the website? Stefan is also so approachable as an individual to just be able to come up and talk to, and he's just
He really
awesome.
is.
Chaosium, but have I told you guys my funny thing about Jeff Richards?
What?
He has a doppelganger in 10th Special Forces group. And so there's an IED expert that I did a bunch of training with that I thought was Jeff Richards for the longest time.
That's funny.
And I was just like, oh, that's that dude that I did IED training with. And so I go over and I start talking to him about Afghanistan stuff. And then about halfway through the conversation, I'm like, oh, you don't do any training with 10th Special Forces group, dude. He's like, no, you're got totally wrong.
Wrong guy.
Oh, well, fun fact, man. Like, you have a doppelganger out there.
Yeah, and while Jeff Richard is he's a close personal friend of mine. I really, really like him. He's bringing a close personal friend of his who's not on this page.
We can't.
We can. He said he's bringing Mike Merles.
Okay.
All right.
I can
that's
announce it
exciting.
here.
Okay.
This is the first time we've said it out loud.
It's true.
That's very exciting. That's wonderful.
We got to do a pretty cool portrait for him.
And Jeff is a wonderful man. Just love him dearly.
Absolutely.
He is.
Um,
He's also bringing U2 Camp Cthulhu, so I'm excited about their games. They do fully immersive, intense games. They've been running at Gen Con for Chaosium for years, and so they're also listed as special guests. So it's a whole team of people that are coming. Carl, if you don't know Carl, I mean, we have a long.
He gets scrolled down.
Oh, he can.
Yeah.
But
I do have skills with
Lawrence, do
that.
the Mandy thing.
that's me being, oh, nobody knows who that is.
That nerd. I heard he's
Yeah.
like,
So we don't. I have to say this because I do get asked this fairly often. I don't know if Grogu is coming.
if Bushira and the girls are coming, Grogu's coming. That's the biggest.
Right. So
Listen, dude, don't call her Bushira because her real name is Bushra.
That's
Bushra.
right.
Bushira is our name for her in the Tomb of Gazgax.
Yeah.
But I will tell you
I'm
all,
sorry. I had to proof all your stuff here, and I read the name a million times. I'm sorry.
but Grogu is actually in the Tomb of Gazgax as well.
Mhm.
So he's named Grogu the Guardian.
I love it.
Laura, I see you.
Right after this stream, we're actually going to drive to go pick up our new Frenchie, and her name is
Potato.
It's Potato.
Yay.
Yeah, you say potato, I say potato.
Yeah.
So
Little
really
tot.
quickly in the chat, running into some folks saying that they're on the wrong Genghis Khan website. So one of the things that I have found is
You get on the wrong year sometimes.
if you search Genghis Khan in Google, the 2023 convention is the top one because that was the day that that was the one that they like optimized for Google search.
Yep.
I go to gamergirlgames.com and then go from there. Again, that one ends up being the first one that pops up and goes from there. There was another person, they posted up this one. And then again, if you see the end of that, it's Genghis Khan 2024.
Yeah.
So, and then Donnie's got the right one up here. So again, tabletop events, conventions, Genghis Khan, make sure it's 2025. Easy way that I do it is I just search up gamergirlgames.com. Want to make sure that people are getting that stuff right.
Yeah, because Google is smart, but it's not smart enough to remove things that it should, that it should remove once they are over.
Oh yeah. Are you guys letting this guy back in?
Apparently.
I thought you guys banned him.
It didn't cost that much money this year, Lord.
Just really scraping the bottom of the bucket if you're letting that guy back in. All right. So then we got, I think this is what we were referring to before with Chaosium, Cthulhu. You guys feel free to expand upon what we are looking at here. It looks like we're sacrificing something to some kind of unholy light.
Yeah. I mean, it's Cthulhu. So.
And they're taking over the second floor room all weekend.
Yeah. They're.
Partying with Donny to get into one.
Yeah. And so here we've got obviously Stefan, Alphinius, Jeff Richard, Daryl Hayhurst.
Darrell.
Darrell is coming back. Daryl is I think he's currently with Pinnacle Entertainment doing a lot of Savage World stuff. He's done Torg. He's done, I think the list could go on and on.
Yeah.
He's just a great guy, great gamer, great guy to just play a game with.
For real. And he will probably be running some board games in secret.
Yeah. So he likes to run a few things off books. And then Carl Kiesler.
You're no Carl Kiesler.
Yeah. Yeah. Your game might be good. You're no Carl Kiesler. This guy runs the most fabulously visual games.
Trailer Park Shark Attack, if you've heard of that, that's him.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
So he has been an inspiration to many, many GMs. Like, I want to run games like that. And we all say that. So he is
Hazard Quest. Ran with it.
Hazard Quest, obviously, huge into the visual aspect, the tactile aspect. But Carl Kiesler, definitely, while Hazard Quest is Metallica, Carl Kiesler is the Misfits. He's the guy who kind of spawned a lot of stuff, gave a lot of inspiration. And then we just yesterday or the day before, Luke Stratton of Pirate Borg, Limithron is his company. So Limithron has been coming regularly. They have their, Ship of the Damned meetup and Ship of the Dead meetup, not Ship of the Damned, sorry. Ship of the Dead meetup. They do Pirate Borg. And then Battletech author Brian Young. He'll be there signing books, talking to all the Battletech folks. Anybody wants to learn about Battletech and hover around his table and people will tell you all about it. Getting a lot of Battletech coming back.
Yeah.
You guys have been printing a bunch of that stuff, haven't you?
Yeah, so Tacticon is our...
That's right.
We like, our group tries to focus on a lot of miniatures. There's tons of board games, role-playing games, other miniatures games, but Battletech is huge at Tacticon because we bring out the big 12-inch robots.
Mm-hmm. So speaking of minis, one of the coolest things I think Kangaskhan does offer is a nice little quiet painting room.
Yes.
Where...
So if you walk into the hotel and you see the doors and you turn right, and then there's the open gaming hall, and then back tucked in the corner, like you wouldn't know it's there, is, I think it's for the hotel, they call it the cafe. I think he has it listed as the Champagne Game Lounge. But there are painting classes that are taught by the Colorado Miniature Painting Association. Mm-hmm. And there's drop-in, not sip and paint and take that you can drop in, and there's specific classes that you can sign up for. That is also where my side quests, one of my side quests, we're doing a sip and paint with Nancy Fritz, who's a fabulous artist out of Indiana. She comes in and she does sip and paint classes. I'm forgetting, I have other side quests. 8-bit cross stitch side quest, a crochet granny square side quest, and make a Hobbit door ornament side quest.
I was actually going to ask because I saw this side quest thing right here.
Oh, side quests are awesome. I am hell-bent on making sure that everybody can have fun at Genghis. And I take for granted, and we took for granted for a lot of years, that we as partners both like to game. Mm-hmm. Right, and that's not it for everybody. So side quests are nerd adjacent crafty things that you can do.
If Ms. Goo came to Genghis Khan, which she does not because she is not a gamer, if she came to Genghis Khan, she would sign up for all those side quests.
Right. And so they're cool. And so there's more of them. Somebody's making like bedazzled, she has a cool name for it, like beetle bottle. I can't remember. It's a tongue twister for me. So it's a bedazzled like potion bottle that you can make. So there are options there for people as well, and it's a little bit quieter. So maybe you just need some chill time.
So I do have a question for that. So Gooey Cube is invested in two very nice 3D printers as we've been printing a lot of our Guys and Gax minis and stuff like that. However, in our quests and whatnot, as we're kind of work it, we've had a few failed batches where they're okay. They're just not up to standard that I would send out to customers. Would you guys like 200 minis just to have available for people just to paint and take? And
sure. Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes.
I mean, missing an arm, the nose doesn't appear quite as nosy.
Well, for one whole batch, it was just we were using that low quality resin, and we did a couple of drop tests on them, and we're like, these things just aren't up to what our standards are for it.
I mean, it's pretty intimidating, at least for me. Like some of the first miniatures I ever learned to paint happened to be Sisters of Battle, and they're not cheap. So I was panicking about trying to paint this mini. I have all metal, so I didn't worry as much because I could just stick them in Pine Sol and start over, right?
Yep.
But if you've never painted a miniature before and you're like, I don't know what I'm doing, it's really nice to be able to paint on something that is like good, but you don't have to panic that you're potentially going to, you know, screw up a $25 mini or whatever. So yeah, having stuff there for people to come in and learn how to paint would be great.
Nice, cool. We have like 120 Bushiras that I'll be just walking around the. We have theirs. We had a few Stitchies that came out a little bit weird, or they lost a horn or something like that. And I was just like, no, we're not going to roll with that. And so we've been holding on to them because we knew that, like, at a minimum, there's a charity that we work with where we give, you know, stuff that's either misprint or stuff like that, but still like playable for high school stuff. We've been holding on to them and whatnot. And so this seems like an awesome opportunity to go through and drop them off and let people have some practice with these.
There also is a painting contest for people who are interested in wanting to show their works. I'm pretty sure the rules are on the Colorado miniature painting page, but that's a good reminder for me to get those posted up too. So like single mini, squad, big bad, and there's a painting competition for people for that as well.
Well, listen. This has been marvelous, but it is almost 11:30, so we've gone a little long. Hope we haven't driven people crazy, but it's been wonderful to hear all these wonderful things that are going to be happening.
Make sure to mark that on your bingo card. We ran long.
Shocker.
Oh, there's all kinds of great stuff on there. So nobody said bingo in the chat yet, so I'm not sure if anybody got full across and whatnot. But
so Andrea, Donny, any last words you want to give our folks about Genghis?
I posted a link to our Discord so that if people have questions, it's usually those questions will come to me. If I need any higher level support, I just go to Andrea. But I'm typically in the Discord to answer a lot of those questions.
I am not. Just so you know.
Yeah, she's got everything else, but if people are comfortable with Discord and want to chat that way, especially if you want to talk about painting miniatures and that sort of stuff, the Colorado Miniatures Painting Association is pretty good about responding same day, next day. If any questions about submissions, when can I drop in? What's this about? They'll have a lot of answers there for you too.
Donny, do you mind dropping an email? I got a few people in the chat who are saying that they could sign up to run that Catan tournament. Let me go through and I'll post it up on screen. If you guys are able to go through and run that, go ahead and we'll send an email to here and then
it's me, Andrea at gamergirlgames.com. He just put it in the chat.
Bam. There you go. It is up on stream. Andrea at gamergirlgames.com. If you guys are able to run that and help out our good friends over at GenghisCon, we'd greatly appreciate it. Donny and Andrea, thank you so much. We can't wait. I personally can't wait to see you guys over at GenghisCon, February 20th through 23rd over at the Hyatt Regency in Denver, Colorado, or Aurora, Colorado. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
And we're going to have tons of awesome stuff. Donny and Andrea are in the Gooey Cube Gooey Game Master's Den of Enlightenment. If you guys, there's about 1.5 million ways to get a hold of them. Apparently, Andrea's phone number is just up on the webpage.
Super safe, I know. Don't feel bad.
It just establishes that Andrea definitely has the biggest cojones out of everybody on the stream here. Just throwing the phone number just out there.
Yeah, I answered the phone and people are like, oh my gosh, is this GenghisCon? Yes.
I am the GenghisCon. And most important revelation, Mike Merles will be at GenghisCon. That's awesome. But the competition for the Party Pink Pony trophy is well underway. So cannot wait to be able to enjoy all that and stuff. So
it'll be great. I just want to say thank you to this community because you guys make it all worth it. And I love you guys so much.
Absolutely. All right. Any signing off words there, Alphinius?
No, we'll see you next weekend, next Saturday. And, we'll see a bunch of you at Genghis, which we're very excited for. So you all have a wonderful rest of your weekend. I guess Lawrence and I and AJ are going to be sitting on Sunday doing OSE conversion for the Tomb of Gyzagax. And then we're going to be dropping some digitals, which we're pretty excited to do. So thank you all. And thank you to Donny and Andrea for supporting us in these endeavors we do as well. So,
you guys, Just making sure you guys have space for the Sky Cube somewhere, right?
Yes.
Oh yeah, we're bringing the Sky Cube.
It's gonna happen.
Making sure you guys didn't forget. That thing's pretty large.
All right, my friends. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Thank
We
you
will.
so much. Oh, Lawrence, thanks for filling in for your sister. Donny and Andrea, marvelous to see you both. Have a wonderful rest of your day.
Yes.
May all your adventures
Be
sticky.
sticky.
be sticky.
Take care, everybody.